Right now at 5, the continuing government shutdown forces some area families to choose between food and medical care.
It's going to be a very beautiful day out there, sunny, but on the breezier side. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the federal government shutdown enters day 36, making it the longest in U.S. history.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning and happy Thursday.
Yeah, we're getting through the week. It's kind of blurring by right now.
I mean, I'm looking and it's like already November 6th. I can't believe it. It feels like Halloween was yesterday. So the fact that we're already almost a week into November is kind of hard to believe.
It really is. And it honestly doesn't even feel like November at this moment. I mean, it's been a really nice week and that trend will continue through today. So actually, let's take a look at downtown Pittsburgh. It's just like you're waking up, it's a little bit on the cooler side, but it's not that bad. Nice, clear, sunny skies. You're taking a look out there. Hopefully, if you're waking up and you're getting outside, you can see some beautiful stars because this weather is definitely feeling really good to start our November. It's not feeling like the holiday season at this moment, but things will change in a little bit, but I'll get to that later. 7th and Range Line, look at that. Very beautiful, clear skies. Not a lot of people out right now, as you can see. It's pretty early in the morning still, so people are just waking up, doing their morning things. So Range Line I-44, like I said, not too busy, but clear skies. Taking a look at our fog tracker, look at that. Not much going on for fog. Driving conditions into work this morning are going to be really nice. Clear roads, clear skies, looking up at the stars. I'm saying it's going to be a very nice morning and a very nice day. Our temperatures are not too bad either across most of our area. Low 40s to maybe about 50 degrees there in Neosho. Sedan about 41. You guys are on the cooler side, but still not too bad of a morning as we're waking up. So taking a look at our future track today, we're going to have those south winds are going to be coming up, bringing that nice warm air today. Like I said, this is going to be on the breezier side, and that trend is going to continue through the day. A very nice day in my opinion. Clouds aren't really going to start building in until later on today. Pretty much mostly sunny skies. You can see some clouds out there to the west, but it's going to stay pretty sunny and dry for most of the day. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. For your school day though, 51 out the door, 70 at lunch and recess. That's going to be really nice to get outside, and then 73 as you're heading home. So planning your day, sunny skies throughout the day, getting up to 73 degrees, but we are going to have some gusty winds getting up to about 25 today. But I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Donald, thanks. The federal government shutdown is now in its 36th day, making it the longest in U.S. history, followed by one during President Trump's first term. At a White House breakfast meeting, President Trump pressured Republican senators to scrap the filibuster rule that requires 60 votes to advance most legislation. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the votes aren't there to change the rule that would let Republicans fund the government and end the shutdown without the needed Democratic votes.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time.
Leader Jeffries and I this morning demanded that Donald Trump sit down and meet with us to address the health care crisis. Anytime, anywhere, any place, we're ready to meet with him. It's time to sit down and negotiate with Democrats to bring this Republican shutdown to an end and address the health care crisis.
Republicans continue to urge Democrats to support a short-term spending bill, while Democrats are pushing for an extension to Affordable Care Act subsidies they say are needed to lower health insurance premiums. The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas hosts its annual grant celebration last night at Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh. The event granted $676,000 to 85 organizations through multiple funds. One of those, the Rita J. Bicknell Women's Health Fund, which granted $62,000 to 18 organizations. The Women's Health grants support programs that improve women's well-being, including fitness initiatives and essential items for women in need. This agreement in Washington leaves an uncertain future for some area families. As the government shutdown continues, families who rely on federal programs are running into new challenges, not just with food assistance, but with everyday services. For one Joplin mother raising a child with autism, even getting to medical appointments has become a struggle.
full-time mom and I have 5 different therapies a week to go to with no transportation and medical transportation. Since the government shutdown, I've noticed a delay in placement for who can pick us up. A lot of the times they just schedule us with Lyft and we'll be stuck out in Kansas for 4 hours because the Lyft won't want to pick us up. And medical transportation is basically just saying, sorry, we're doing what we can. And I understand it's not their fault, but it's impacting not just adults.
Crosslines in Joplin has seen the bigger need firsthand and has expanded how often families can pick up groceries. We'll hear more from Jennifer on why SNAP benefits are so vital online. Southeast Kansas attracts plenty of workers, but many go home to other states at the end of the day. The reason? Lack of housing options. This week, community leaders are gathering to tackle this challenge. KOAM's Kenny Foreman shows us their solutions.
For a region as vibrant as Southeast Kansas, housing can tend to be a complicated subject.
A lot of times we can't depend on all the various programs out there, be state or federal. So we got to figure out ways to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And so what we're hoping today and tomorrow is to share other communities' ideas and how they helped facilitate it, how it was funded, who made it happen.
As Southeast Kansas becomes an increasingly more attractive place for people to come and work, this also creates a common sentiment among the community that there needs to be more housing options for those people to live.
They're coming in from other states and other counties, they're working here, and then they're going home. It's up to us to come together to put a housing system in the entire Southeast region that keeps them here when they get that paycheck.
A major goal of the conference is for the leaders to take the ideas and concerns being expressed and start thinking about what they can do for their community.
We've had a lot of questions from city officials and manufacturers. Those are the two industries that need to know that the cities are being provided for as far as housing, and the manufacturers need to know that economic developments like myself are on top of housing.
One speaker was Coffeyville City Manager Ben Brubaker, who is actively working to ensure that there is enough financial support for continuous growth in the city.
Coffeyville has a sales tax with a portion of that devoted to housing, and so we're out trying to partner with everyone we can on how can we utilize those funds to best incentivize that growth and development that we need in the housing area.
In Chanute, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
In addition to housing, SDK Incorporated also works to come up with solutions when it comes to workforce development and childcare. They represent city governments from 12 counties throughout Southeast Kansas. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News.
The Supreme Court hears arguments on the legality of President Trump's sweeping tariffs. I'm Erica Brown with more from the High Court on the emergency powers used for his economic policy.
Plus, the Wicked sequel breaks pre-sale records before it even hits theaters. Ariana Grande misses the Sao Paulo premiere due to a plane safety issue. And clear and sunny skies in the 4 states. Donald has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, the Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday over President Trump's sweeping tariff policies. The case revolves around the president's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 and whether it is an overreach of executive power. Erica Brown has the latest from the Supreme Court.
Inside the Supreme Court Wednesday, the Trump administration argued the president has the legal authority to impose sweeping tariffs on foreign countries without congressional approval.
We don't contend that what's being exercised here is the power to tax. It's the power to regulate foreign commerce. These are regulatory tariffs. They are not revenue-raising tariffs.
President Trump relied on a 1977 emergency law known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose the tariffs. But several justices, including some conservatives, questioned the administration's interpretation of that law and where to draw the line.
What would prohibit Congress from just abdicating all responsibility to regulate foreign commerce, for that matter, declare war, to the president?
We don't contend that he could do that. If it did.
Why not?
Attorney Neil Katyal argued on behalf of the small businesses who brought the lawsuit.
The justices ask tough questions, but fair questions.
These tariffs don't punish foreign governments. They punish American small businesses, American workers, and American families.
President Trump has called this case, quote, life or death for our country, and warned a ruling against him could cause economic disaster and impact tens of billions of dollars his administration says it raised in tariff revenue. Legal experts say this appears to be the first time conservative justices expressed skepticism on one of President Trump's major policies.
If you listen to the arguments today, I think the betting is that the Trump administration did not persuade the court of its position.
The court is expected to rule next year. Erica Brown, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Even if President Trump loses this case, some tariffs that were enacted under other statutes will remain, including levies on steel, aluminum, and automobiles. While still to come, new hope for people battling advanced breast cancer. Plus, clear and sunny skies in the 4 states. Donald has a look at your Thursday forecast. Stars of Wicked are hitting the red carpet ahead of the sequel's debut, hoping to defy gravity and box office projections. And your favorite demon hunters are coming back. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Excitement is building ahead of the Wicked for Good release. It's the highly anticipated sequel to last year's box office hit.
Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
The cast kicked off their global red carpet tour with a premiere in Sao Paulo. Star Ariana Grande appearing only by video after her plane to Brazil was grounded because of a safety issue. Wicked for Good heads to theaters November 21st. The number of purchased pre-sale tickets has already set a record on the site Fandango. The most popular film of the summer is getting a sequel.
It's time.
K-pop Demon Hunters 2 has just been greenlit by Sony Pictures and Netflix. With over 325 million views, the original movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, is the most watched movie on Netflix ever. The animated musical is expected to be released in 2029. Oscar winner, Dame, and legendary actress Helen Mirren is getting another accolade. The Golden Globes have named Mirren the 2026 recipient of the Cecil B. DeMille Award for her decades-long career in Hollywood. Previous DeMille Award recipients include Walt Disney, Elizabeth Taylor, and Morgan Freeman. The Golden Globes will air on CBS on January 11th with the return of host Nikki Glaser. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I feel like I've been living under a rock because I still have not seen Wicked, and I feel like I need to before the second one comes out. Well, now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
So we're actually going to be golden for today if you guys like K-pop Demon Hunters. It's going to be pretty nice and sunny, a little bit on the breezier side, but I'll have a full look at your forecast coming up. It's going to be a beautiful day out there today, but this morning, it's still pretty nice. Looking down at downtown Pittsburgh, clear skies, beautiful morning. If you're outside checking out the stars, definitely do that because today is going to improve with sunny skies and the temperatures are going to get up to like the low 70s, but I'll get to that in a minute. 7th and Range Line, another beautiful morning, clear skies. People aren't out doing their thing yet, but they are going to be doing that pretty soon. Range Line I-44. Not too much going on in terms of busyness, but like I said, people are just waking up, getting out the door. And if you're getting out the door, getting to work, kids are getting ready for school, the fog tracker looks really good. Look at this. Beautiful driving conditions all through our area. No fog out there. It is clear and very nice. Temperatures are looking not too bad either, but I'm going to look at your regional temperatures right now. So We do have a front that is going to slowly start pushing in this weekend before we do cool down. You can actually see it right now. That's why we're having a little bit of those northerly winds coming in. But for the most part, we got some southerly winds that are going to be coming in today and tomorrow before those north winds really start to come in and dominate because of a low pressure system that's basically all the way. Actually, lows, there's a low here, and we got a low here. That's the one we're watching for this weekend. But right now, for Thursday at noon, southerly winds going to be bringing in nice warm air, clear skies through pretty much the entire day. Once we get to about 4 o'clock, still clear skies for most of the area. We do have some clouds that are going to start building in by late afternoon into the evening time. As you can see, once we get to about into the overnight and into Friday morning, some clouds, patchy clouds, but then we get to Friday morning. The winds are going to still be out of the south for most part, but then they're going to start shifting to the southwest. And there you can see those northerly winds that I was talking about. That's going to be slowly building in this weekend. And we still are going to have some clouds here, mostly to the southeast of us. So when you're waking up tomorrow morning, still on the warmer side, but overcast skies, and then it'll clear out by the early morning into the afternoon. All right, so for today in the morning, 8 a.m., starting off 54 degrees, sunny skies through the morning, getting up to 67 degrees at 11 a.m., a pretty nice start to your day. And then for your afternoon, jumping up to 73 degrees, and that'll actually be between the 2 to 4 o'clock hour, sunny skies through the entire day. However, it is going to be on the windier side though. South winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. And that's because we're actually having a little bit of a pressure change. As you notice that a front was moving out, a weak front moved out, and then another front is going to be moving in this weekend. But for tonight, dropping down to 55, pretty much mostly cloudy skies, so those clouds are going to act like a blanket for us. But we're going to have a gradual cool down, 69 at 6 p.m., down to 64 at 10 p.m., like I said, getting down to 55. Still a little bit on the gustier side for tonight, gusts up to 20, but not as gusty as it was during the day today. So taking a look at our 10-day, 73 degrees for today on the breezier side, a pretty nice day tomorrow, mild, but then that next front is going to start pushing through this weekend. Saturday, 68. Sunday, 45 degrees. That's going to be our high. Chilly. Look at that, 24 degrees for our low, and then 31 as well for Sunday night into Monday. Basically, we're going to possibly see a frost and a freeze associated with those temperatures, and then we're going to stay cold on Monday and then warm up again by Tuesday and possibly seeing 70s again by later on next week. But that's a look at your forecast. Here's Sam with Health Watch.
Thanks, Donald. New treatments are allowing people with advanced breast cancer to live longer than they did 15 years ago. A study of more than 60,000 patients with metastatic breast cancer in the U.S. found the average survival time has increased by 6 to 7 months. Doctors credit more effective treatments and improvements in diagnosis and quality of care. Having poor heart health in middle age increases your risk for dementia later in life. A University College London study found people with signs of damage to their heart between the ages of 45 and 69 saw their thinking, memory, and problem-solving abilities deteriorate faster and were more likely to develop dementia. Researchers say the warning signs can be spotted as soon as 25 years before a dementia diagnosis. And more evidence of the dangers of drinking. Harvard researchers found people who had 3 or more alcoholic drinks a day were more likely to have strokes caused by brain bleeding. Also, heavy drinkers who had strokes tended to have them more than a decade earlier than people who weren't heavy drinkers. The study's authors say heavy drinking speeds up long-term harm to the brain's blood vessels. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. Nearly 227,000 people will be diagnosed this year. A new report finds significant progress against lung cancer, but also shows more at-risk patients need to be screened. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Perry Lee is a lung cancer survivor. The New Jersey volunteer firefighter had a baseline scan that showed a tiny spot on his lung.
I monitored it for roughly 2 years, and I never followed up after that.
Several years later, in 2019, a new doctor insisted he get it checked out. He was diagnosed with stage 1 lung cancer.
I was in denial, I was angry, and at the same time, I was like, how do I go and tell my family? Because I had let it go for so long. I had no shortness of breath, none of the symptoms.
The State of Lung Cancer report from the American Lung Association finds the disease is being detected earlier and more people are living longer after diagnosis.
Lung cancer screening is a game changer in helping people catch the disease early when it's easier to treat. There are so many more treatments over the past decade.
Nationally, only 18% of high-risk patients were screened, and screening rates varied significantly from state to state.
Only a small percentage of people who are eligible get screened for lung cancer. If you're over 50, if you have a smoking history, go to savedbythescan.org and figure out if you qualify for screening.
It was a really aggressive growth.
Lee says he's lucky his cancer was caught early, and his only treatment was surgery.
Go. It can't hurt. If I didn't go do mine, nobody would ever have known because I didn't exhibit any symptoms. Get the baseline, and it gives you a peace of mind. Gives your family peace of mind.
He gets screened yearly and shares his story with his fellow firefighters to help them stay healthy. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The Lung Association says it's concerned that federal cuts are threatening lung cancer research. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, an uptick in write-ins had officials in 2 southeast Kansas counties counting votes.
We have a beautiful day ahead of us, even though it's going to be on the breezier side. I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I feel like Thursday, and I don't know if this makes any sense to you, Donald. I feel like Thursday is the most November day of the week.
I'm trying. Yeah, I can see that in some way.
I don't know why. I always feel like Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. It's not, but is it?
Yeah, it's on a Thursday.
It's on a Thursday.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why. It's Thanksgiving is on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the most November day of the week.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can see that because we do usually we celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday. I like it because of the food, and I'll just stuff myself until I fall asleep watching football.
And it's coming quick.
It is coming very quick.
Even if it doesn't feel like it outside right now.
It does not feel like it outside right now. Actually, it's going to feel pretty good today. A very warm start to our November. If we take a look at downtown Pittsburgh right now, it's actually it's a little bit on the cooler side, but not too bad. Nice clear skies as you're waking up, getting out the door. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty good at this moment for right now. And then also for 7th Range Line, beautiful skies, clear. I almost said sunny skies. Sun's not up just yet, but it is going to be rising pretty soon though. But if you are outside, most likely you'll see stars because it is clear. Range Line I-44, people are starting to get up, to get a little bit busy, doing their morning routines, getting the kids out to go on the bus to go to school. Not a bad time to do it right now though, because our fog tracker looks really good. Visibility is excellent while you're driving to work. It's going to look really good, clear driving conditions. The temperatures aren't too bad like I was saying either. A little bit on the cooler side, not too bad. 47 there in Joplin. Sedan, you guys are on the cooler side at 41, but mostly low 40s to up to about 50 across most of the area. So not too bad as you're waking up. Our future track for today, Thursday at noon. Southerly winds going to be on the breezier side, but clear skies. Not really any clouds at all until we get to the afternoon. Today, about 4 o'clock, we're going to have still those southerly winds, but then there's some clouds starting to build in, and those clouds will start to build in a little bit towards the evening time, but it'll still be pretty sunny and very nice outside. So for your school day, 51 as you're out the door, 70 at lunchtime recess. Enjoy that nice weather outside as you're playing. 73 as you're heading home, sunny skies. All through the day, getting up to 73 degrees, but again, on the windier side, winds it's about 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. But I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up soon.
Donald, thanks. McDonald County High School JROTC cadets are planting flags around the county. The cadets tell KOAM they're proud to be putting flags up to honor the veterans that came before them. More than 800 flags will be up around McDonald County by Monday, in time for Veterans Day.
Every flag I plant feels like another soldier I helped. And I always love to help my soldiers because they are going to be my brothers in arms as well.
Fields of Flags is a fundraiser for the McDonald County JROTC program. Crawford County Mental Health also has a Veterans Day event coming up. The annual Community Veterans Day celebration takes place this Friday at the Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh from noon to 1. The event will feature a catered lunch and information about the Health Department's Service Members, Veterans, and Families program. Local veterans will also share their stories and take part in a special celebration honoring their service and sacrifice of those who have served. The Missouri Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday that could spare the life of a man who brutally abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered a 10-year-old Southwest Missouri girl. The victim, 10-year-old Haley Owens from Springfield. The fourth grader went missing walking home from a friend's house on February 18, 2014. Investigators later found Haley's body in plastic storage containers in Craig Wood's basement. She had been shot in the back of the head and showed signs of being tied up. Wood, a former teacher's aide and football coach, was sentenced to death in 2018 after a jury convicted him of first-degree murder. Wood appealed his death sentence multiple times. In 2019, the state's highest court upheld both his conviction and death sentence. Yesterday, during the latest appeal to the Missouri Supreme Court, Wood's legal team argued the jury never heard that Haley's mother wanted Wood sentenced to life in prison instead of the death penalty.
The jury never got to hear what, in fact, Haley Owens' mother wanted, but they got this different perspective that, in fact, she wanted death, and heard all about this community impact as well.
As I recall, some of the pleadings that I've seen throughout the course of this case have made the assertion that the family wanted a life sentence. In fact, we only know the wishes of one member of the family, that being the mother. We don't know what anybody else in the family wanted.
The case sparked national attention and led to thousands attending candlelight vigils for Haley, including this one in Joplin. Her family's advocacy also resulted in Haley's Law in 2019, which allows police to issue Amber Alerts faster. The Supreme Court took yesterday's arguments under advisement and will hand down a ruling at a later date. Election night turned into election morning for a couple of southeast Kansas counties this week. The reason? A flood of write-in candidates that delayed ballot counting well past midnight. KOAM's Mitch Adams explains how write-in votes can slow down the entire election process.
In a local election, if no one runs for an open position, it is up to the citizens to write in a candidate to do the job. But with that comes potential delays, slowing down the process of verifying election results.
Out of the 2,249 registered voters in Woodson County, 450 ballots were cast, with over 200 of those ballots voting for a write-in candidate.
If a name is written in and they can tell that was the intent was to vote for that person, we still have to count it even if our machines don't count it. And so that takes a significant amount of time.
Oftentimes, people will fill the line with a fictitious character or nickname, which could have an effect on how fast finalized results come out.
That's where our write-in board kind of can determine, like, they'll still list that person, but when we're going through and doing our voter checks, we know, like, Donald Duck doesn't really exist. And so, you know, we'll be able to establish that and have it on our records that, you know, yes, we did have this vote, but they're not an eligible person for that position.
Most Kansas counties will certify their election results within the coming weeks. Reporting in Woodson County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
We emailed questions about similar delays to the Bourbon County clerk, and we're still waiting for a response. Well, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, hundreds of students at McDonald County High School take a look at potential career opportunities. Plus, Toyota recalls more than 1 million vehicles over a camera malfunction that could cause crashes. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, McDonald County High School hosts a career fair for their high school students. It helped young people explore all kinds of possibilities in industry, the military, and higher education. The school hosts these fairs to help students plan what's next in their lives.
I got an advantage because we exchanged contact info. They got mine, I got theirs, and hopefully we can reach out. And I actually learned that they hire high schoolers, so that really excited me, and hopefully I can take advantage of that and get a job.
About 750 students were expected to participate in the career fair. American Airlines says it expects that the vast majority of its customers will be unaffected by the FAA's decision to reduce airspace capacity by 10% in dozens of high-volume markets starting Friday. The move is due to shutdown-related staff shortages. American says it will proactively reach out to impacted customers and encourages flyers to check their flight updates online. In an internal memo, United Airlines says it will try to rebook passengers affected by flight reductions, adding that all customers are eligible for refunds during this period. Toyota is recalling more than 1 million Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru Solterra vehicles that have panoramic view monitor systems. The car maker says a software issue could cause the rear view camera to malfunction, increasing the risk of a crash. Toyota will fix the issue for free. And Red Cup Day at Starbucks is November 13th. Customers can stop by Starbucks to get a free reusable red cup while supplies last. Unionized Starbucks workers are also planning a strike on that date if a labor contract is not finalized by then. Meanwhile, the coffee chain's holiday lineup returns today, featuring seasonal favorite drinks like peppermint mocha and gingerbread, and the addition of 2 new pastries. Well, how much would you pay to never have to say goodbye to a beloved pet? If you have enough cash, that's a question worth asking. Tom Brady announced that he cloned his late dog, joining a list of other celebrities who've done it. The price tag, a cool $50,000. Joe Ling Kent has the story.
I got a call today from the cloning people.
Many of us wish our pets could be with us forever.
It's been 10 months since Diamond Baby ran away. She was like my sister, my best friend.
Paris Hilton cloned her missing Chihuahua in 2023, producing 2 new puppies.
This is Diamond and Baby.
That same year, our Gayle King spoke with Barbara Streisand as they were interrupted by Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet, clones of Streisand's late canine, Samantha.
They're not the same because, as I said, you can't clone a soul. Sammy had her own soul.
And now football legend Tom Brady reveals to People magazine he's done the same, cloning his pit bull mix, Lua, who died in 2023, with biotech company Colossal Biosciences, in which Brady is an investor.
Meet Khaleesi.
Last year, Colossal says it used gene editing and cloning to create 3 pups of an extinct species, the dire wolf. To clone your pet, here's how it works. Your vet takes tissue samples and sends it to the lab. Embryos are created from the cells and implanted into a surrogate dog to carry it to term. According to research at Columbia University, the success rate is only about 20%. Bioethicist Jessica Pierce.
What worries me about cloning is that I feel like it's an industry that steps in and kind of preys on people's grief.
Pierce also said cloning preys on people's fear of losing their animal or their distress at having just lost their pet. We've reached out to Colossal for comment and have not heard back. In the meantime, PETA, the animal rights or advocacy organization, says the best way to honor your lost pet is to recognize that they are not replaceable and to adopt from a local shelter. Jolene Kent, CBS News, New York.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice day out there for today. Tomorrow looks just as good, but there is a cool down coming by the end of this weekend. I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Mexico is continuing to work to stop a deadly pest from crossing into the U.S. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Michelle Rook with today's Ag Day Minute. USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins visiting Mexico this week to check on its progress fighting New World screwworm in an effort to keep it out of the U.S. Rollins saying the U.S. is not ready yet to reopen its border to Mexican cattle. However, she said she's pleased with Mexico's efforts to contain the pest. Rollins was in Mexico City for a meeting with officials, including the country's president. The ex-secretary telling Reuters that while she's not comfortable opening the ports yet, she said that every day that goes by, we get a little bit closer. The owners of Pizza Hut say they're looking into strategic options for the chain. Yum Brands says Pizza Hut's performance indicates the need to take additional action to help the brand realize its full value, which may be better executed outside the company. The chain's sales have lagged behind Yum Brands' other chains, such as Taco Bell and KFC International, seeing sales fall for 7 consecutive quarters. And the soda drink Mr. Pibb appears to be making a comeback. Coca-Cola is relaunching the drink known for its spicy cherry flavor in select markets. They say it will contain 30% more caffeine. Children of the 70s will remember it was launched as a competitor to Dr. Pepper. A nationwide rollout of the drink is planned next year. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Donald with a quick look at the forecast.
It's going to be a beautiful day out there today, but this morning in downtown Pittsburgh, not too bad of a morning. You can see clear skies, no clouds whatsoever, a little bit on the cooler side, but it's still not going to be too bad. Things are going to warm up by the early afternoon. Taking a look at 7th and Range Line, clear skies, not too busy at this moment. People are just starting to wake up, do their morning routines, get the kids ready to get out on the bus, and then you can start driving to work. Range Line 944, people are, like I said, they're starting to get up, do their thing. Clear driving conditions at this moment. And a good thing is that the fog tracker actually doesn't have really much fog, if not any fog whatsoever. Our area looks really, really good for driving conditions. Clear skies, clear driving conditions. It's going to be a very nice drive to work or a nice school bus drive to school. Let's take a look at our temperatures regionally right now. I want to talk about why we're getting those warmer temperatures at this moment. We do have a low pressure system that's down there along the Red River, and that's actually bringing up those southerly winds at this moment to our area, bringing in those nice warm temperatures. But that's actually going to change later on into the weekend with a low pressure system up there that will eventually bring some cooler temperatures by Sunday and Monday, but I'll have more about that in a minute. All right, take a look at our future track. So today, Thursday at noon, those southerly winds I'll talk about bringing in the nice warm air, but it is going to be on the breezier side though. We're going to stay clear pretty much the entire day until we get to the afternoon and evening time. There's about 4 o'clock, southerly winds. There's those clouds that are going to start slowly pushing in. Still going to be sunny until we get to about the late evening into the overnight. Some clouds are going to start pushing through into the evening and overnight. So there you can see through Friday morning, clouds are going to start building in and the winds are going to start to shift from the south, and you can see those north winds, those northwesterly winds are going to start slowly making their way in. But we're going to be waking up Friday morning with some clouds. All right, but for today though, it's going to be pretty nice. Starting off your day at 8 a.m., 54 degrees, sunny skies through the morning, getting up to 67 at 11 a.m., so a nice start to your day. And then your afternoon looks even better, 73 for a high, and that'll actually be during the 2 to 4 o'clock hour, sunny skies for pretty much the entire day, but it will be on the gustier side. Like I was saying, winds out of the south about 15 to 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. And those winds will calm down a little bit through this evening. We'll see a gradual cool down, 6 p.m., 69 degrees, getting down to 64 at 10 p.m., and a low of about 55, but mostly cloudy skies, and that clouds are going to act like a blanket for us, keeping that warmer air below it. But again, still a little bit gusty, not too bad. Out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles an hour, gusts up to 20. But a pretty nice day and a pretty nice evening as well. All right, taking a look at our 10-day. 73 for today. On the breezier side, pretty much started the entire day. Friday, really nice, mild, 72. Then Saturday, you notice we do drop down a little bit to 68. That's when that front's going to come in and bring in that northerly, cool, colder Arctic air. Actually, I'm not even going to say cool. It's going to be colder air, because look at Sunday. We're only get up to 45 degrees on Sunday, and there's that 24 and 31 degrees. Right there is when we're going to see a possible frost and freeze. So when you're waking up this weekend, it's going to be pretty cold, and that's not going to really warm up too much on Monday at 49. And by Tuesday, we will see another possible warm-up getting up to those low 60s, and then we're going to warm up again by about Wednesday, possibly getting to Thursday, possibly getting to 70s again by Thursday. So let's enjoy this nice weather while it's here. But that's a look at your forecast. Another hour of news and weather coming up.
More than 100 Special Olympic athletes spent the day at Orion Ranch Sanctuary in Arcadia, Kansas, experiencing an event organizers call Hearts and Hooves. Special Olympics Kansas partnered with the ranch, giving athletes a chance to meet rescued horses, donkeys, and other animals, many for the first time. Participants enjoyed games, music, crafts, and time with volunteers, all in a supportive and welcoming environment.
Today is going to be a pretty nice day, starting off our morning at 8 a.m., 54 degrees, sunny skies through the morning, getting up to 67 by 11 a.m., and then the trend's going to continue for nice weather, 73 for a high, getting up to, like I said, 73 about the 2 to 4 o'clock hour. Winds are going to be a little gusty, gusting up to 25 miles an hour, and then this evening dropping down to 55, but it's going to be a gradual cool down, 69 at 6 p.m., 64 at 10 p.m. Still a little bit on the gusty side, but not too bad, mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be a pretty nice day and a pretty nice evening, in my opinion.